That's it.
Hi there. Welcome to Tech Talk Weekly. I'm Bob from Creation Station. This is our weekly show where we give you, well, we're supposed to give you 3 or 4 cool tech and science topics. This week we've got a billion links, it feels like. But that's because this is episode 250. We're in our 5th season. We've been cranking out these shows for a while. If you still want to send us more stories, Creation Station at broward.org. Miss Kristen, how are you doing?
Oh, yeah. It's been a week, but I'm doing good.
Yeah, Kristen and I were just laughing about dishes and working on all sorts of those household things that I did not put in the show notes. They're not there, and the stories are not here either, but there's some interesting ones. We've got some very interesting ones. The first one is, gosh, man. Okay, so this is a really, really cool story, and I am very grateful it's happening. But, so, did you see this at all, Kristen? Because I put this into the rundown after you got the stuff.
Yeah, no, but we chit-chatted about it offline here a little bit.
In the green room. So NASA probably likely found life on Mars. Maybe. It's great. This is really, really good news. They found it in a settlement. It's in clay. It's a clay settlement, and it's got all the biomarkings and all of the stuff. Like, this should be life. This should be some kind of little paramecium bacteria type thing that was there. It's a very single primitive cell type of life. When there was water on Mars millions of years ago and all of this stuff. It's cool. It's really great. We won't know for certain because we could not take all of the proper materials to Mars to do all the testing there on the planet. And we're supposed to go pick up these samples and bring them back to Earth and test them here. Take a wild guess, Kristen. What's going to happen that way?
They'll become contaminated.
There is a strong possibility that could happen, but at least they can prepare against some of that. 2 things. One, it's taken NASA and the European Space Agency a number of years to try and come up with how they're going to Mars to get the samples and come back. And now the most recent, late last year, they were saying, no, it's going to take us till 2040. Excuse me. And that's just too far. That's too long. We need to come up with a better plan. And then a couple of months ago, they cut the funding for the whole plan altogether. So we have samples that might have life on Mars, but we're not going to go get them as of right now.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Very. It is a very disappointing thing. But hey, good news stuff. We found life, probably.
Maybe, sort of. Hopefully.
It's one of those things. This is science, folks. You do science, and then you have to prove it. You can't just look at the stuff and say, well, that looks like it, so it must be it. You've got to actually examine and dig it all up. So hopefully before I pass along, I will find out whether there's life on Mars.
It's possible that we'll find out within our lifetimes.
I hope so. You know how you can tell how long you're going to live?
Yes, this one I didn't see either.
Oh, this is the one. Now, see, Kristen, because you're in your 20s.
Right, yes.
Here's a thing for all of the high school people, college people out there who pay attention to citizen science. I've bragged about that before. I'll show you another link in a minute. Here's a very simple lung capacity test you can do at home. And when you are in your mid-20s, you are at your peak lung capacity. Another reason why not to smoke, not to vape, anything like that, because your lungs are still growing and getting bigger and better and doing better things. And if you stunt to that, you're going to hurt yourself for a long time to come. However, to test it, there's expensive stuff. You go to a thing and do all these and go into a lab and take all these tests. But you could do some of this at home to get yourself an idea of what you can do. And it's kind of a citizen science project. You take a 2-liter bottle, you fill it up with water, and then empty it, and then you go through. Eventually, what you have to do is you have to get all these lines that are 200 milliliters tall. So you keep putting 200 milliliters into the bottle until you fill it all up. Then you're going to turn it upside down, and you're going to blow air into the bottle. And as many of those lines as you can blow water out of the bottle is how many milliliters you have in your lungs. So if
Like
you
at one time? Like
at once.
at once.
You don't get to
Right.
you don't get to keep on taking, like, blow and pause and blow and pause. You just got to take one huge breath and you blow it all out and empty your lungs. Which is, now, this is science, but it's not a medical answer. So please try it. It's cool. Anyone can do it at any age. But it's not a medical
Right.
exact science.
And so
doing it with a 2-liter bottle in the bathtub.
I guess obviously the bigger your lung capacity, the longer you're going to live is the
Yes, exactly. The higher lung capacity you have, the more oxygen your blood gets, better for your brain. Brains need oxygen, and better for you to be able to, for endurance, to be able to move and do things. So it's a really great experience that way. I do want to put a quick plug in for these are all in the show notes, as always, for people to follow up on. We have our citizen science at Creation Station Science at North Lauderdale, and on the 27th, we're doing a whole hackathon with mosquito habitats with NASA and the Globe Observer and SciStarter and Enable and all these scientific organizations working together with the library. And if you're in South Florida, register and come. Free lunch.
Oh my God, if you want to track mosquitoes, come to my house.
Yeah. Well, you see, if you're off on that, on the 27th, come on in. And we have the observing mosquitoes. We have the mosquito science kits you could check out too and do all your own experiments. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I got plenty of mosquitoes in my house because my son has trouble closing doors.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of places that have mosquitoes down here. That's one of the reasons we're doing it. It's going to be fun. Okay. We have 4 links for this next story. If you have not seen already, I hope you have, but late this midweek here, Nepal has gone through some upheaval, and there's a little bit of confusion over why and what happened. The quick nutshell for you, isn't it? I know, it's insane. So I put up 4 different pages, 4 different links to things: the BBC, NPR, Rest of World, and Global Voices. So go read other stories. Don't take your stuff from if you're here in the United States, don't just read the NPR story. Go read one of the other ones. If you're from outside of the United States, go read the NPR story so you hear something different than BBC or whatever. What this happened was the Nepal government put in a ban on social media. That's been a theme around here for the last few sessions. And people did not take kindly to it. They went and did protests in the street, mostly effectively peaceful protests in the streets. The police tried to crack down, were not nice about it, started the violence. By all accounts, it seems the police are the ones who started the violence and started shooting at people over a social media ban, which is the thing which it gets way out of control. And that's why you got to go read the stories to see different points of view, how it led to different things. Eventually, the Parliament building gets burned. The prime minister has to resign. There's a lot more than social media. It's all about corruption, taking bribes, getting unelected officials in charge and trying to put these kinds of bans on and stuff like that. So tell me, Kristen, when I send you these, what the heck did you think?
I was like, this is crazy. I think we need some of these guys to come over here and protest. I mean, it's wow.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where it builds and it rolls. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago with a social media ban in Pakistan, where the prime minister in Pakistan would routinely put a rolling block on social media or on the internet overall to stop people from being able to talk. And that's what was happening here. And people were just like, no, we're not going to put up with this anymore. So it's a really interesting thing of the dichotomy of you don't want a violent protest, you don't want these things, but then when you try to clamp down on someone and say, no, you're not allowed to speak, what are their options? And we're seeing around the world all sorts of things happening. I do have a bonus link in the show notes for you at the very end about Blue Sky reacting to North Dakota's and Montana's social media blocking, with a whole different thing than they did with the Mississippi blocking. That gets really complicated politics again, but I just wanted to touch base on those things because it fit right into our theme this month, apparently. Maybe the world will figure out that you can't block the internet and you can't block social media, so you'd better just learn to work with them and do better, just like our next story. I really hate this story. I really hate this story.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
So, the headline reads, Meta suppresses research about how dangerous VR is for kids. And at first, you might think, oh, well, hey, Bob's told me before, kids under 12 aren't supposed to use VR because it'll harm their optic nerves and things like that. No, it's about how child predators are people
Trolling.
preying on children are going into VR and doing their thing to be a predator against kids. And they're blaming it on Facebook, Meta, and blaming it on VR. So, Kristen, you're a parent.
Yep.
Whose fault is it?
It's the parents' fault for letting their kids use VR, for letting their kids use VR unsupervised, for, I mean, it's no different than back in the day when the internet first came out and chat rooms, right? I mean, that was a thing, people finding, doing bad things in chat rooms,
Yeah.
and, meeting up in real life and stuff like that. Or what was that one? That little app? Snapchat.
Yep, Snap is still around. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a continuation of parents not. I don't know. I guess maybe not.
And that is where it's
not realizing where that there's dangers there.
Right. They're not paying attention. They're not following through on what are their children doing. Now, I am not blaming parents only. I am not saying Meta's not at fault, because there should be better safeguards about this. The reason we've got this story in here is also because of all these social media bans are, in theory, about helping save children and keeping children safe from predators. And that is a very admirable thing we should be doing. We should be attempting to do that. But we need to go after the bad actors and not stop. I mean, it is not VR that's causing this. It is predators causing this. Right. It is, 99.9% males going after people. We need to figure out a way of what's wrong with those people who are the predators, and a way to protect kids. And the best way to protect the kids is for the parents to know what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, we do VR in the library since 2016. We don't have this problem, but we have it up on a large 40-inch television where everybody around can see what you're doing and who you're talking to. And mysteriously, things don't go wrong because there's supervision.
Yep. Yeah, you got to know what your kids are doing.
Yep. Okay. Done with the bad stories for the week.
All right.
Probably. Nah, we
Maybe.
are.
Sort of. Kind of.
No, we are. So, how much AI stuff do you use, Kristen?
Almost none. Well, because it's pretty much blocked here at work.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then when I get home, I'm just like, I'm not using it. Although I have to say, Family Search has a full text search now, which is kind of AI powered, which I do find fun because, me, nerdy me, and genealogy. I've been trying that out. So that's really the extent.
That's not a bad thing. Are there any limits onto it?
And of course, no, not on Family Search that I know of. Not yet, or I haven't been on in a while. But when my son was still in school, ChatGPT helped us out a little bit with some English assignments.
And for the most part, for a lot of people, they think about these things as free. They're not. There's a cost. There's all the stuff to get in. But Google, for one, has finally put out a document that says this is how much you can do for free, and then you have to pay. Rather than those, you can do some searches. You can have, you can do the occasional check, and if you start becoming a heavy user, you'll want to subscribe. They finally put it out just flat out. What limited access actually means is you get 5 prompts a day, period. And if you want more than that, you're going to pay. And if you pay, now you're going to jump up to 100 prompts a day. And there's also the deep research stuff, and they've got good limits here. It's a nice, clean, I'm saying this is a good story because Google is saying, hey, this is what your limits are on our platform. We're using Gemini. Gemini is their LLM. You want to use Gemini? Here's how much it'll cost you. Here's what you're doing. No hidden nothing. It's just like, bam, here it is. So people can get used to the idea that, no, we have to pay for this because somebody has to pay to use these things. Okay, Kristen, somebody's got a question for you in the chat here. Please explain what Family Search is.
Family Search is a website run by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, aka the Mormon Church, and they have a lot of genealogy resources on there, and you can build your tree, and you can look at records, etc. And now they have this, like I said, it's an experiment. It's still in the experimental stage, but it's called full text, and you can put in your name, your place, your record type that you're looking for, and it will come up with some possibilities. I haven't had any success yet, but that's just, my dumb luck.
And is it free?
Yeah, it's free.
So Family Search is free, and currently any of the AI tools that are on there are also free. That's not a bad deal. Mm-hmm. We'll see how long it lasts, but that's good. We did a genealogy show on our Creation Station Monthly back in season 1, where we had some people who talked about how they do their searches and stuff too.
Oh, was I not on that one?
No, you were not. It was the monthly show. We had the head of the Genealogical Society for the United States.
How dare you not invite me?
Oh, you didn't. We are not part of the committee. But another cool.
But I was just going to say about that thing about the pay for the 5 prompts, right? So maybe people will get much, much better at writing their prompts so that, they can get the most out of their 5 uses.
Yeah, there you go. And if on the other side of things, if you are a writer, you write books, your books are on the internet, or you do web pages. I mean, I've got tens of thousands of pages of wiki content out there. There's a new thing called RSL, just like RSS. In fact, it's by the same people who created RSS. Some of those same people made this RSL, which is a thing that you put onto your website. And when a bot crawls your website to scoop up the information for the AI, it runs into this wall effectively. And unless they pay you, You can set it to a free option just so you can track who's actually getting your information, taking your content. But you can set it so that they have to pay you if they want to take the content off your website.
Excellent.
So this is something that is out and new, but hasn't been implemented. I know I almost always don't want to talk about things that you can't use right now today. You can use this sort of, the problem is the implementation side of it isn't there. You can download it and set it all up yourself, but then the other side for all the web developers out there is not quite there yet. So
Yeah.
that's one of those things.
Something that's coming down the road, and it sounds like a good idea.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll be here like next week. This isn't a thing that's going to take months. This is like, it's going to be in a few days.
Maybe they can use AI to get that up and going.
You know, I have no doubt that somebody did some coding like
Let's
that.
write a prompt, Bob.
Yeah, I'm just not touching that one. Just not touching that one. Okay, we're actually over our time limit, but I wanted to touch base on this because it's such a cool, fun little story. What color blue do you see when you see blue?
I don't know. Probably not the same color blue you see.
Definitely not me, because I'm colorblind.
And I have some color deficiency issues as well.
So the link to the Journal of Neuroscience is in here. If you cannot get to that article yourself, I am sorry. If you're in one of our libraries, you can access it through some of the college databases. So if you're out there in the world and you're like, wait, I want to go read this, you can't. Maybe. It depends on your local institution.
It's really interesting to me because like years and years and years ago, I had that same conversation with a friend of mine. Like we were just being philosophical. Like, how do I know that the green that you see or the green that I see is the same color green?
And
we both identify it as green, but
right. And
is
the answer is, once you've learned that what you see, that you call it green, everybody's brain reacts the same way and lights up in the same pattern for that color. Whether it looks black to me, but I call it green, and it looks green to you and you call it green, and somebody else sees yellow but calls it green, all three brains activate the same way when you are thinking, oh, that's green.
Wow. Yeah.
But your retina and all the cones and all the things in your eyes are seeing something else, probably, maybe. It's really
this is like
fascinating article.
It's interesting because that's what we're talking about. Like color is learned.
Yeah.
A learned like behavior.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. And I mean, and again, if this study had come out a couple months ago, we'd be talking about this during our summer learning session of Color Your World. When we did all those color experiences.
Well, I guess we'll have to write to them and say you're a little late to the party.
Any researchers out there, next summer's learning theme is dinosaurs. So please do some more dinosaur research for us, and we'll have you on before then. Yeah, all the extra dinosaur research.
Please save all your archaeological dinosaur discoveries for next summer.
Or please start Jurassic Park in March so that it's up and running so we can give away tickets over summer learning. How's that sound? That sounds great. Good. Okay, let's put up our slide. Let's get out of here before we get too much farther off track. If there is a story or something you'd like to see on the show. And also, remember, hit like, subscribe. We're out there on all the various different platforms. Creation Station at broward.org. And we'll see everybody next week.
Bye, Bob.